Hey guys, I'm gonna go over the Squat Everyday program that I've been doing, just kind of break it down a little bit. So basically how I have it structured is I just alternate front squat and back squat, and I'm literally squatting every single day. And every single day I build up to a heavy single, as heavy as I can go for that day. Now, when I go to that heavy single, it doesn't mean I need to go to a true 1 rep max. On days I feel good, I push it, see how heavy I can go. On days I don't feel good, I just don't push it that hard. I do have minimums that I try and hit. When I first started, those minimums was a 350-pound front squat and a 400-pound back squat. Now, when doing a program like this, you need a lot of self-regulation. So on days that you truly don't feel good, you don't have to push it. That means the opposite. On days that you do feel good, that's the day that you want to put the gas down and you want to go for a heavy single. Now, there are many other ways to do a Squat Everyday program. This is just the way I am doing it currently. I've done others in the past where there's more variation in the squats. There is more triples, there is more fives, there are more drop sets, there are different variations of squats in terms of eccentrics, isometrics, overhead squat, front squat, back squats. So basically what I'm doing is I squat first because it's the most important movement I'm doing. Next, I will do an Olympic lifting variation, whether that's a jerk, a clean and jerk, or just clean, snatch. I try and keep reps 2 to 3 reps. I don't really have any sets or weight that I want to do. If a weight feels tough, I may drop set, or I might just stick with there and do maybe double so that they look and feel a little bit better. But I want to make sure that my Olympic lifts are still looking good, so I'm not going too heavy. And then I do a little bit of bodybuilding, like some rows, some curls, some pull-ups, triceps, and then some core. So the main focus here is to get your legs stronger. So don't be so concerned with the performance in your other lifts. For accessory work, like if you're feeling a little bit, to avoid feeling a little bit achy, a lot of hamstring work, especially if you're a quad dominant squatter like I am. A little bit of hamstring work, some RDLs, some knee flexion exercises like hamstring curls. Those will go a long way. And I'm going to go over some of the questions that some of you have because a lot of them were good and they should be addressed if you're going to attempt a Squat Everyday program. So the first one is why do a Squat Everyday program? So the reason is to just get better at the squat. That's why you would do a Squat Everyday program. The more frequency that you have for an exercise, the better you're going to be at it, and then your performance in that exercise or movement will increase. So I want a better squat because it helps me snatch and clean and jerk more. So this is a good opportunity to increase my squat strength so that later on it'll carry over to those lifts. One of the questions was, what are the pros of squatting? So the squat is a staple in a lot of the programs I make, and the reason is because it requires a lot of strength, flexibility, and coordination. You need to be able to maintain that midfoot center of gravity throughout the entire lift, throughout the downward portion and the upward portion. In order to maintain that balance, it requires a lot of strength, and also being able to go down into a comfortable bottom position, a deep squat position, requires a lot of flexibility. Now, with that being said, you don't always have to back squat or front squat. There are split squats we can do. There are other squatting variations, heels elevated. There's lots of variations that we can do in order to work that bottom position and then to slowly introduce those more difficult movements. Another question we had was, do you have any tightness? And I assume that means like sore or anything. So I get a little stiff, like my knees get a little stiff, my lower back gets a little stiff, but this is usually only when I wake up in the morning. By the time I'm warmed up and I'm in the garage and I've done a few squats, I've done a few mobility exercises, that pain usually has gone away. Especially by the time I'm hitting the bar and I'm doing some half decent weight, usually any of that pain is gone. A couple people asked about recovery. So the best things for recovery are sleep and food. So right now my sleep's a little bit compromised simply because of the baby. So that hasn't been the greatest. I think I've had more bad days than good days in terms of lifting because of my sleep. Food, getting in adequate protein and carbs, decent amount of fats to help with your joints a little bit. other than like, those are the main two things. Like, those are the simplest things for recovery that you can do. You can do massages and chiro and physio treatments, which are great, but not everyone has access to them, and right now even less. One question was what my max squat was. Well, the good thing about Squat Everyday program, especially if you don't squat as frequently, you will see a huge improvement quickly. So my squat started off at 462 pounds, my back squat, and now it's 475. I think that was day 15 in the Squat Everyday program. And then my front squat went from 400 to 407. Smaller increase, but that's okay. I'm pretty happy with that. Another question was, why weren't you squatting every day before? So my coach only programs squats like 2, maybe 3 days a week. I do a lot of cleans and snatches, which I do squat for those, but the weight and the weight isn't the same. Like, my back squat compared to my clean is different. So it's not really the same. So I hope you guys liked the video. I think I'm gonna do a few more of these. I have a couple that I've filmed recently, and I'll just slowly post those when I get around to editing. Yeah, so have a good day.